Hello everyone. Today we'll talk a bit on prose. What is prose? How does it differ from poetry? What are the different prose varieties we come across on a daily basis, especially being students of literature? Your textbook has obviously provided with a very peripheral understanding on prose, its varieties, its etymology, its evolution, and the prose of particular ages. To begin with, we can say that prose and poetry are different ways of using language, expressing ideas and things around us. We cannot say that they are opposites when we do have prose poetry and poetic prose blurring these binaries. In a more inclusive way, we can say that prose is something we encounter every moment of our life. It is the direct, straightforward, unornamented language either in spoken or written form. In written form, it makes use of sentences and paragraphs which would in turn comply to strict rules of grammar and punctuation and provides us with clearly stated or explained ideas and arguments. Prose may or may not be creative and aesthetic. For example, in novels, short stories, etc., we do find literary and creative elements filled in, whereas in daily written language, maybe most of the time it could be purely factual. Prose differs from poetry in the sense that, though both uses language, poetry is more pregnant and loaded. There is a magic in poetry where words lean on to each other, linking together, interlocking and creating a sort of a tension within it, which gives rise to aesthetic pleasure. Structure-wise, it is a metrical composition, though we do have exceptions. It does have rhythm, rhyme, division into stanzas by the use of various literary and figurative devices, which brings about the complex unity of the poem. Again, all these features do have many exceptions, as we do have various innovative techniques used in prose as well as poetry. Now, moving on to the etymology of the word prose, the term prose can be traced back to the Latin word prosa or proversa oratio, which means straightforward discourse. Now, let's actually talk a bit about the different types of prose. In a general way, prose could be divided into four. The first one is fictional prose, which consists of novels, novellas, tales, short stories, etc. The second one is non-fictional prose, where you get biographies, essays, articles, journals, and so on. The next one is heroic prose, which is a counterpart of heroic poetry. You do have folklore, legends and tales of heroes, mythical tales, etc. in this category. And the last one is poetry prose, where the poetry, it is poetry written in prose, not in verse, but it maintains the poetic qualities. Now, let's detail on some of these types. The first one is fictional prose. In an inclusive sense, we can say that fiction is any narrative that is imaginative. It can be in prose or in verse, but in a narrower sense, we take it for narratives that are written in prose. Sometimes we take it as a synonym for novel. Fiction is invented, feigned, or cooked up version of events and characters instead of a factual detailing of things that happened. Sometimes there is the use of history, biography or contemporary happenings, where of course you have different names like historical novel, fictional biography and so on. Fiction can be taken as a world created by an author where he or she provides us with settings, characters, a life, and a logic of its own. Fictional prose can be of different types: novels, novellas, and short story. Now, the first one is novel. A novel is an extended narrative. Its magnitude, permitting a great variety of characters, more than one plots usually, though there would be a main plot, there can have or there would be some subplots as well. There is a great development of space and time, characters and motives. Derived from the Italian word novella, which means a little new thing, going through different historical periods, the form novel does not have a rigid framework, and the authors the authors do take the full freedom to explore human thoughts and action through this form of writing. Now, beginning with Picares's novel, we have different forms in different varieties of novel, like realistic novel, epistolary novel, sociological novel, Bildungsroman, psychological novel, proletarian novel, etc. Now, the second one is short story. Short story is a comparatively recent development in English literature. It is a brief work of prose fiction. It shares the usual constituent elements of novel, but in a compressed manner. The short story differs from the novel in the dimension of what Aristotle calls magnitude. There is a limitation of length, and sometimes authors construct a story of plot alone, or character alone, or setting alone by confining the rest in each to the minimum. The language of short story should be model of economy. Every word in it should contribute to its effect. A novel often has passages which could be rushed through, as it won't affect the plot as a whole, whereas there is no scope for this in short story. There is no room for luxury of words and characters and settings in short story. It requires a kind of apt word, apt characters, apt setting in the apt place. Then, of course, you have within short story, you have short stories as well, kind of slightly elaborated anecdotes. Now, the third one is novella. Between the tautness of the short story and the expansiveness of the novel is a form called novella. Of course, as I told you when I was talking about novel, coming from the Italian novella, novella is a kind of a narrative in prose which was developed by Boccaccio, who has well exemplified the form through his work Decameron. The term is nowadays used to distinguish a long short story from a short story, and a short novel from a full-fledged novel. Hemingway's Old Man and the Sea, Tolstoy's The Cossacks are some examples of novella. Now let's look at non-fictional prose. Amongst non-fictional prose, you do have these varieties, different types: biography, autobiography, newspaper articles, journals, travelogue, speech, essay, etc. Now let's delve into each and every one, every thing. Now the first one is biography. Alexander Pope says, the proper study of mankind is man. It is a man's interest in man that makes him a biographer. The term biography was first used by John Dryden in 1683 when he defined biography as the history of particular men's lives. Quoting the words of Harold Nicolson, biography is a truthful record of an individual composed as a work of art. Now, biography is different from history in the sense that it is a record of an individual's life where the subject is studied from within and without, providing a faithful representation of the subject, both the virtues and faults, in a very detached and dispassionate manner. History, on the other hand, records general events of different periods of time. Biography should also be a work of art, not a collection of factual events in the subject's life. The biographer will have to spend a great amount of time with the subject to present an accurate picture in black and white. Now, the second one is autobiography. In an autobiography, the author writes the story of his own life and achievements. An autobiography is purely subjective in nature as it is written by the subject himself. Though autobiography can never be completed as it should end before the life of the subject ends, according to Dr. Johnson, an autobiography is better than a biography because every man's life, according to Dr. Johnson, is best written by himself. But then it's quite difficult to sit and write about oneself. Autobiography is to be distinguished from memoir, where the focus is not on the author's developing self, but on the people and events that the author has known or witnessed. It should also be distinguished from diary or journal, though both might be autobiographical in nature. Journals and diaries would be record of events in one's life written for personal use and satisfaction and not for publication. Now the next one is newspaper articles and journal articles. Now, as students who read newspapers on a daily basis, I need not detail on this form much. Of course, you get to know daily happenings, contemporary issues, debates and discussions surrounding events which focuses on various social, political, cultural events through various articles and columns in newspapers. They are most of the time very much factual in nature, but they do have some features which would of course go for the emotional appeal of the readers as well. Journals, on the other hand, can be a paper, a periodical, a magazine, which is often learned in nature. It focuses on specific topics which would talk about recent research going on in a particular area, which would be written by a scholarly people. Now, the next one is travelogue and speech. Now, travelogue, as you all know, is a narrative on travel about the places one has visited. It most of the time it can be factual in factual manner, or it could also have some sort of a creativity. It could be aesthetic as well. Speech, of course, speech is words and ideas presented in a very logical way, so as to impart information as well as to persuade the listeners to a particular point of view. One speech can of course change the world. We might be familiar with lots and lots of speeches, historically well-known speeches, which had brought about sea changes in worst scenarios. Speech of Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, Jawaharlal Nehru, Gandhiji, etc. Some of the common speech that we are familiar with. We do have acceptance speeches like Nobel acceptance speech. We do have speech which questions the order of the world, like you listen to Arundhati Roy speaking. A speech can change things within a few moments. It could urge people to take action. Speech is usually done in common language, a language which is simple, at the same time rhetorical in nature. Now we do have essays in this particular area, but we'll talk about essays in detail in some other video, as we need to talk much about essays in your syllabus. We'll talk about that in the next video. Okay. Now the third kind of prose is of course heroic prose. Amongst heroic prose you have legends. Legend is a narrative which can be about the lives of saints, great men and women of antiquity, about warrior heroes, about folk heroes, revolutionaries, etc. And tales are of course stories and incidents where the focus is more on the cause and outcome of events. You might be familiar with detective tales, adventure stories. all those could be taken as tales. But then you also might be familiar with bedtime tales, you might be familiar with fairy tales, you might be familiar with folk tales. And most of these kinds of tales are moralistic in nature, didactic in nature. It is meant to teach people some sort of moral. So these are the different varieties of prose that I would like to talk about, or I was talking about in this particular video. And I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you all.